Introduction hwɛ so no te sɛ deɛ wohwɛ mu
Good day. My name is Abubakar Habib, and today we are going to present on artificial intelligence adaptation in global banking with a focus on GCB Bank PLC. Now, artificial intelligence adoption and its strategic implication for the global banking industry has been improved. Therefore, it has an impact on GCB Bank. Now, let's look at the presentation overview of what we are about to do. Here is the outline of my presentation. We'll start from the introduction and we'll now move to the external analysis of it, then move to the industry impacts before looking at GCB bank analysis. Then we'll go to strategic evaluation, then we'll conclude. Now, in the introduction, we'll look at why AI matters in banking. And the external analysis will look at the AI adaptation, its origin and trends, and its implications. We will now dive into the industry impact, which will talk about the pestle and the Porter's five forces. Then we will look at the digital strategy, investments, and performance. Then the strategic evaluation will look at the dynamic capabilities and recommendations. From there, we will now look at the conclusion. Now, let's go to the introduction. AI has become AI has become the biggest force reshaping how business operates today, and the banking is feeling it deeply. This report examines AI adoption as a strategic issue for global banks with a firm level focus on GCB Bank. But this is just not a technology story. It touches regulations, the jobs and cybersecurity which affect the banks and the customer expectation, the shifting power between traditional and highly tech banks. Now, let's look at GCB at a glance. GCB was founded in 1953 and it has become one of the oldest banks listed in the Ghana Stock Exchange with over 186 branches and 340 ATMs nationwide. They serve retail, corporate, and institutional clients across the country. Because of that, they have to adopt the AI or they have to implement AI to help them serve all the customers across the globe. Now, let's look at the external analysis of AI adoption. The AI has been around since 1950s because it became a practical business force in the 2010, driven by big data and machine learning. Banks first used it for credit scoring and fraud detection. Today, it's everywhere, like the chat box, compliance, trading, and automation. Now, AI adoption among business has grown about 28% annual since 2017, and generative AI tools like ChatGPT are changing the game even more. Therefore, we will now move to the impact of industry or the strategy implications first. The strategy implications. But here we will look at the pestle analysis and the Porter's five forces. Let's start with the pestle analysis. The pestle is a model which stands for political, economic, social, technological, and legal and environmental. Now let's look at the political. The political impact on GCB Bank. Now, Ghana's digital financial inclusion drive IMF program conditions shaping investment pace, Bank of Ghana and regulatory sandbox. Now, because Ghana is in the peace sector and is using the Ghana Digital Financial Inclusion Drive and the Bank of Ghana regulatory sandbox, it is creating opportunities for people, whilst the IMF condition also shape the investment pace. That's the political impact on the GCB bank. Now, let's look at the economic factor. Now, AI could cut operational costs by up to 25% because if the bank should reduce the labor work, that's AI is going to do most of its work for them. Therefore, it will reduce the cost of operating. But mobile money is compressing margin. Mobile money is compressing margin. Therefore, the operations of the organization is affected by AI. Now, we will go to the third one, which is the social. The social factor. Mobile money banking is rising because everyone wants to use it because it's accessible and it's easy. But there are concerns AI might ignore, including the rural populations or reinforcement bias in lending. The exclusion of the rural population, they are talking about because some people stay at the rural areas, they cannot have access to either the internet or the service that will help them to use mobile money. Therefore, there is reinforcement bias, which will not let them get access to lending and other services that the bank sectors will have for them. Now, let's go to the fourth one, which is the technological factor. Expanding mobile money internet, but reliance on third-party tech vendors, cybersecurity risk with AI-driven symptoms are growing. Technology also have impact on the banking sector. Changes in technology affect how the AI operates. Therefore, it also affects how the banking sectors also operate. Now, let's go to the legal factor. Bank of Ghana digital banking rules. Now, we are going to look at the rules and regulations, legal rules and regulations, which affect banking sectors. Ghana Data Protection Act governs AI use of customer data obligations. So, Ghana's Data Protection Act rules govern AI use of customer data and environment. Lastly, we'll look at the environmental factor, which is AI consumes significant energy, but can also help with ECG reporting and green finance. That's it with the pestle analysis. Now we'll look at the Porter's five forces. The Porter's five forces look at the threat of new entrants, the bargaining power of buyers, and the competitive rivalry, and the bargaining power of suppliers. Now, when you see the threat of new entrants, here it is high because AI lowers the cost of complexity of building financial products, enabling fintechs to enter banking market faster. So here it is high. People go into it because the cost is low. Now we look at the bargaining power of buyers. It is also high because AI-driven comparison tools and digital switching platforms make it easier for customers to move between banks. Therefore, it's also high. Now, we will now go to the competitive rivalry. Here, it is intense because traditional banks and AI native fintechs compete across an ever wider range of products and services. Therefore, it is very, very intense, highly intense. Now, we will now move at the bargaining power of suppliers. Here is growing because dependency on a few large tech vendors increases supplier average over banks. Okay, so with this, we'll now look at the firm level analysis. What has GCB been doing? They have upgraded their core banking system to enable more advanced digital capabilities. They've employed Oracle Exadata to improve data processing and cybersecurity. In 2020, they became the first bank in Ghana to launch GMoney, a digital wallet that works across all networks. Therefore, let's look at their core banking upgrade and their Oracle, as I've said, the Oracle Exadata, the GMoney platform, which they introduced in 2020, the Security Operations Center, the DigiFirst strategy, and the digital leadership. Now, we'll look at the GCB financial performance for the year 2023. Here, in that year, 2023, GCB recorded its best ever profits before tax, over 1.5 billion. That's a remarkable turn around from the 743 million loss they made in 2020, which was mainly due to Ghana's domestic debt exchange program. So because of AI adoption, they were able to overcome the loss that they had in the year 2020, which brought the profit they made in the year 2023. And this was because of AI adoption. But there are still gaps. Their non-performing loan ratios is high at 14%, 14.8%. Fraud-related losses hit 67.4 million in 2020, and their AI journey is still early compared to global banks like the JP Morgan Chase or HSBC. And this all came about, or the profit came about as to because of the adoption of AI. Now let's look at the strategic evaluation. We will now look at the dynamic capabilities of the AI adoption. Here we look at three things: the sensing, the seizing, and the reconfiguring. Now, the sensing, GCB has shown growing awareness of AI opportunities and risks. Their digital leadership appointments and explicit acknowledgement of cybersecurity risk in annual reports signal strong environmental scanning. Sensing is talking about how GCB ability to detect trends, risks, and opportunities related to AI before competitors can do that. Now, we'll now look at the season. season, they have committed resources to core banking modernization, gym money, and all security operations center. These are deliberate strategic actions. Now, last one is the reconfiguring. It progresses through process automation, digital channel expansion, and gym money, and still ongoing. Infrastructure constraints in Ghana mean full reconfiguring takes longer than for global peers. Lastly, we'll look at the strategic recommendation. We'll look at the strategic recommendation for GCB Bank. Here, based on our analysis, here are five recommendations. One, accelerate core banking modernization. Accelerate core banking acceleration. Continued upgrade of legacy infrastructure is a prerequisite for effective AI deployments at scale across all 186 branches. They should accelerate core banking. That means they should modernize their activities to seal the AI adoption. Now, the second one we look at is develop explainable AI frameworks. It should get ahead of Bank of Ghana regulatory requirements on explainability, reducing compliance risk, and building customer trust. The third one is AI ethics governance at board level. Here we are going to look at how we embed AI governance at board level to strengthen the accountability and positions GCB favorably with regulators and investors. The fourth one, we look at how to expand gym money with AI capabilities. Expanding AI or expanding G-Money with AI capabilities means integrating personalization, credit scoring, and fraud detection to grow financial inclusion. Lastly, we will look at how to invest in AI literacy across all staff, because if the workers are able to know how AI works, they will be able to know the best and efficient way to work so that they will be efficient and work can be done effectively. Then to conclude, we will say that AI has done its best and has done more. Therefore, there are some key takeaways we will look at, and is one, AI is a transformative external force, not just a technology upgrade, but reshaping competition, cost, risk, and strategy in global banking. Now, the pestle analysis shows AI impacts to cut across all six dimensions with Ghana's specific context. Mobile money regulation shaping how local banks respond. Now, let's look at the last one, which is GCB as genuine structural advantage, Ghana's largest data assets, widest branch network that AI could transform into a competitive edge if the investment continues. Thank you. Thank you very much.